although it seems for me like it's the third. Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Purlsbeforeswine podcast. Although it seems for me like it's the third episode, because this is actually the third time that I have recorded this. The first time was on Saturday, and it just wasn't the best effort, and then I was having some trouble editing it, and then the second time my iPad actually died, and I had to take it to the Genius Bar to have them fix it. So hopefully the third time's the charm. Hopefully this will be a much better effort. My name is Rachel. I live in North Carolina with my 4 children and my husband. I have 3 girls and 1 boy. My oldest is 9 and my youngest is 2. And they are, I should say they're a lot of fun and they're so wonderful, which they are, but they're also spunky and spirited, as I'm sure any mother of any children of any age already knows. I have been knitting for about a year. It seems like a lot longer than that to me because I quickly got the knitting bug and started knitting up everything I could see. For the most part, I feel like I progressed pretty quickly in my knitting. And not that I'm like a knitting savant or anything, but I was eager to try new things, and I would try something and then try something else very quickly. But I really enjoy knitting. It's something that brings me a lot of joy, and it helps me mentally and emotionally, and so it's something that's really important to me. And I wanted to do a podcast because I've gotten, as many of you, I've gotten really interested in watching podcasts, and I've really enjoyed getting to know people through their podcasts. And I wanted to have the opportunity to, put some of myself out there, and to get to know other people on a more personal level, not just get to, watch them as celebrities. I don't have a lot of friends who knit. Actually, I don't have any friends who knit. And so I do really meet some good friends that knit. So I'm really excited to make friends and to let people get to know me like I've gotten to know them. And I would also love to get mail. I would love to send mail. I think swaps are one of the cooler things that I have discovered as I've ventured into, getting to know more knitters on Instagram and through Ravelry. So that's a little bit about me. And just, if you're watching this podcast, you obviously don't need any podcast recommendations, but I just wanted to mention sort of who some of my podcasting inspirations are, to maybe help you know if this podcast is actually something you would like to watch. I really enjoy Vegan Jilly and the Grocery Girls and the Legacy Knits podcast. Those are, I would say, my top 3 that I love so much. I think as you watch this, you might understand why. I think those are people that are like me. I'm a passionate, kind of scatterbrained person, and I love that about all of them. I'm not saying they're scatterbrained. They're just, more creative and less type A type people. Another thing about me, I am a Ravenclaw, which was surprising to me. I actually thought I was going to be a Hufflepuff. And actually, so did my husband. But one podcast I would like to highlight, just because it's not one that I've heard a lot of people talk about, that I just found this week, is Brown Berry. And I can't remember her name, but I really, really enjoyed her podcast. She has the calmest, nicest way of talking, and it just makes you feel so relaxed. and she is so knowledgeable and so informative, and she just goes into a lot of really great detail. So it was really fun to watch her podcast, and again, just her voice is so calm. It belongs in like one of those relaxation meditation tapes. Anyway, so let's move on to some of my finished objects. I have a couple things that I finished a while ago to show you. Again, just to give you an idea of maybe the kind of person that I am. The first one I wanted to show you is the tofu. It's rather large. So, this is a really popular pattern for really good reason. It's relatively easy lace. It has a short, easy to remember pattern. And it turns out beautifully. Let's see. Here is, let me put it on. It is on me. It did turn out to be a little big because it does grow after you block it. And I think I might have made it bigger because I didn't realize it was going to do that. But even though it's still too big for me, and it's maybe not the most flattering for my figure, I love it anyway. Mostly because this. Well, you can't really see it, but I just love, it's almost like bat wings. It's so much fun. So yeah, I really love it. I might make another one. Maybe in like a fun color, in case you can't tell, I like fun colors, bright colors. I saw a yellow one that was so beautiful. But knowing me, I'll probably see something else and decide to make that instead, because I'm not really good at remaking the same thing over and over again. So there's that. It's one of my favorite things that I have made. Another thing that I finished recently. This was my very first little stuffy. It's definitely not perfect, but it's such a sweet little bunny. This is the Dutch Bunnies pattern on Ravelry, and the pattern actually has you make the coloring more like Dutch bunnies, but at the time I just had this color, so I went with it. And I didn't, you can see his head's a little wobbly. My limb placement, let's see, this is already coming out. Like, my limb placement was not perfect at all. I can sit up and chit chat. But it was fun to make, and I think for my first little stuffy, it's not too horrible. And my kids love it. They love it so much. And it's really little. Like, see how little that is? So cute. So cute, little buddy. Yeah, so that's another one of my favorite things that I've made. So recent things that I made and that I finished in the last week or so. I finished just in time for Easter. I made this sweater for my daughter. It's the Granny's Favorite pattern from, I think it's from Tiki Knits. I'll put it down in the bottom. This is my second one that I've made, and I just made this to go over her Easter dress. You know, so she wouldn't get cold, and so everything would be all nice and covered. And she really likes it, which is what matters most. But yeah, it's a great pattern. One change I did make is that the edging in the pattern is written as a garter stitch. And I do a seed stitch pretty much any time that the pattern calls for a garter stitch edge like this, just because I like it better. I think it looks better, but it's just a personal preference. And obviously I made a short one. It's not long. And I think in the pattern instructions, I think she says, oh, you can make any size with like 200 grams. But the largest size might be like a short sleeve bolero. This was actually made with, I think, like probably like 160 grams. So, and it's made out of the Knit Picks Shine, maybe? No, I can't remember what it's called. I'll probably put it down in the notes. It's a Knit Picks, what is it? It's not Shine. Shine's a different one. It's Knit Picks. It's 100% superwash merino. It's the, I think the DK weight, but I can't remember what it's called. Swish. It's called Swish. So this is, yeah. And, but I'm super happy with it, and my daughter's super happy with it, which is what matters. What else did I finish recently? I also finished some Hermione's Everyday Socks. But my daughter already stole those, so I don't have them because they're on her feet at school, which is pretty awesome. It does make me, these are the first socks that I made for anybody but myself, so it is really exciting to see her be so excited about those socks, and to, because she stole them like as soon as they were off the needles. They were on her feet. I don't even think I tucked in the ends. So that made me feel really good, and it made me want to make her more socks. What else have I finished? Oh, it's another thing I finished, not recently, but it's one of my favorite things that I've made. This is the Frisian, I don't know what it's called, pattern. It is, again, it's an easy pattern. It has, just garter stitch and mesh, pretty easy. It starts at this little teeny tiny end and then works its way up to a really long end. This is my second one that I've made, and this is in Knit Picks Stroll Tonal, and this is the frozen colorway. And this is, I think it's showing you about accurately what color it is. It's maybe a tad bit greener in person. Just like Frozen, like you would think for the movie, for Elsa. And I do really like this colorway. It's also surprising how many things that this goes with. It turns out that it goes with almost everything that I own, which I wasn't really expecting. But I'm loving this combination today. Super great. My husband, he laughs at me when I'm watching my podcasts, and he asked me one time, like, why do all the women have things around their necks? I was like, because they had to show off what they made. And I have to admit, I at first was not so excited about shawls, because they seem kind of, like something older ladies wear. But there's really not that much to knit if you don't knit shawls. So I quickly warmed up to the idea of wearing a shawl. Okay, so that is all the finished objects I have to show you today. And I have a hoe. This is, here we go, a Vanilla is the New Black sock. Does it stand up? Oh, I guess you can't actually see it stand up. Here, look, it stands up. It does stand up all by itself. This pattern, if you haven't seen it, I believe it's a strong heel, and it's really interesting because you just do increases, and then you turn it, and you do, I guess, short rows. I guess you could call them short rows, but it's really different. It's really easy. I liked it. It seems kind of magical that it works and that it doesn't, a lot of short rows make holes, but the way you do these short rows, they don't make any holes, and that's pretty cool. And this is knit up out of Patton's Croy. I don't remember the colorway. And this yarn, I'm not super excited about. It's kind of a rough yarn. It's not very soft. And it did make a very nice dense fabric, and I feel like this sock will probably last about forever, but I'm not really excited about it just because it's not as soft. Although I haven't washed it. I should try to wash it and see what happens. Because I know a lot of people do use Patton's Croix. So maybe if I wash it, that will help. So, yeah. What else do I have to say about this? Yeah, I really recommend this pattern. Super easy. And it's just fun to try a different heel. Now it's time for whips. Yay! I don't know about you, but whenever I hear somebody talk about whips, I always think of that song, Watch Me Whip. So that's the name of my whip segment. It's Watch Me Whip time. Okay, so the first thing I have to show you is my 3-color not cashmere shawl. With 4 young kids, I'm not really in a phase in my life where I want to spend a lot of money on something that my kids might ruin. So I went with, something slightly cheaper than cashmere. I'm sure someday I would love to knit with cashmere, but for right now, this is what I'm using. So here it is so far. I'm really excited about it. Let me get out my yarns to show you. I guess you can already see them. You can see them all together, but here is my yarns. This one, let me see if I can find it good. It has some speckles, and I looked on the website. This is Knit Picks Hawthorne Speckle, Cosmic Speckle, I think. Oh, look, I have the paper right here. It's Cosmic Speckle, I think. Let's see. Yes, Cosmic Speckle. There you go. And it is 80% superwash Highland wool, 20% polyamidite. I have no idea what that is. Probably, yeah, something. And this is my first time knitting with Hawthorne, and I kind of like it. It's fun. But this color, oh, I didn't find any for you. Oh, maybe here we go. Okay, so see this. Oh, get out of the light. Doesn't want to. Okay, well, it is what it is. So now it's focusing. So I looked at this on the website, and I picked this colorway because of that purple speckle that it has. And when it came, I was so excited because it just perfectly matched this purple yarn. And this is Knit Pick Stroll Brights. I can't remember the name of the color. Something purple. And this is Stroll Basalt Heather. And this one actually has a little bit of an iridescent quality to it. Let's see, can you see it at all? No, not really. It has a little iridescent quality to it, which I don't think anybody else but me will notice, but it's really fun for me to know that, all the colors kind of have some purple element to them. But I'm really happy with the way that it is knitting up. As you can see, because it's such a huge shawl, so I skipped. There's supposed to be another repeat of this wedge, and I skipped it so that it wouldn't be quite as big. And then there's supposed to be, I think, 10 repeats of every color, and I have 8. Again, I didn't want it to be quite so huge. I might do a smaller chunk of this color. I'm not sure. I love this color so much that I may just leave that the way it is and leave the lace portion at the bottom the way that it is. But yeah, I'm really excited with it. I think it's going to be a really fun thing to wear. Yeah, it's super exciting. And I'm doing that with the Grocery Girls Knit Along. I wasn't as excited about that shawl, and then everyone started doing it, and the more I saw it, the more I was like, oh, but I could do it in this color, and this color, and this color, and yeah, suddenly I got super excited about it. My other thing that I'm working on, where is it? Here in my, I got this bag from Mommy Sew on Etsy, and I love it. It's such cute little fabric. I love this little measuring tape tab. It's not real measuring tape, but, and it has, there it is. It has little birdie fabric on the inside, which is super fun. And here is a fine and dandy sock that I'm making for my daughter. And this is a little bit greener than it's coming across in here. It has a pink toe because my daughter picked out this yarn for herself, and then she requested it had pink toes, pink heels, and a pink cuff. I am probably going to give her that. The cuff was the one that I was like, maybe, but I have no ability to not give my children what they want. So, but when she first suggested it, doing this pink, I was not really sure about it. I was just kind of like, okay, I'll do it because you want me to, but it's not gonna look so good. But now I'm actually kind of loving it. And I was also thinking that it might be kind of fun, since I do have 4 children, if I'm going to be making socks for them, I could easily just do like all the toes for, this one child, is my 9-year-old. I could do all of her toes and heels in pink, and then I would easily, or my husband would more easily be able to tell, when we're washing them, whose socks belong to who, if each person has a different colored heel or toe. Huh? Yeah, so this is the fine and dandy sock pattern. I'll show it to you again. I am really liking it. I first saw this on, I think it was Chelsea Knits on Instagram, and I instantly had to get it. It was only 77 cents, which is awesome. So I don't know if it was like on sale for the first couple of days, or I have no idea. I just know it was only 77 cents when I bought it, that was $1 Australian. And then afterwards, as I'm working on it and I'm watching my podcasts, I noticed that everyone is making fine and dandy socks. So it just so happened that I jumped on the same train with everyone else at the same time, which is awesome. It's fun. It is an enjoyable pattern. It requires a little bit more thinking than, your standard ribbed sock or vanilla sock or even the Hermione sock. But it has a really pretty result. And now it's time for the best part of any podcast, which is acquisitions. I normally might not have that many acquisitions because I do try to mostly buy yarn for projects and not just buy it to have it build up in my stash. But this week is an exception because my mother and I went to Carolina Fiber Festival, which happened right here in Raleigh. It was about 10 minutes away from my house. It was really great to get to go and see all the different vendors and things that North Carolina has to offer. As I mentioned, I love my state. So this one is my favorite that I got. It is from Unplanned Peacock Studio. And I really love it because it has every single color, I feel like, of pink and purple and blue. Just all the different shades, all the different colors. I just love it. It's so perfect. I want to buy like 10 more just so I can have them. I haven't decided what I'm going to make with this yet. I kind of want to make some blueberry waffle socks. I'm not sure what I find so appealing about making blueberry waffle socks that actually look kind of like blueberry waffles, but for some reason whenever I see any purple-ish yarn, that's what I want to make out of them, is blueberry waffle socks. And I have yet to do it, but these might be the pair. But it's just, oh, I just love this yarn. It's so great. And my 2-year-old actually, she imprinted on this yarn hardcore, and she actually carried it around the festival with her, like a little stuffed animal. And then she discovered it again a couple days later and carried it around with her again for like an hour. And you can actually see a picture of that on Instagram if you are so inclined. So another one of the ones that I got is the yarn that I'm using for my Fine and Dandy socks for my daughter. And this is from Twist Fiber Studios. And it is the Under the Sea colorway. It's, as I said before, it's a little more green than you can see in the picture. And it's a little bit more vibrant, maybe darker. It's looking a little washed out right here. And you can maybe see a little bit of the sparkle. It has a little sparkle going on. I was surprised that my daughter, who's a pretty pink girl, would actually pick this, such a blue colorway. But then I saw the name and I knew that she had to go with her princess roots. So I'm really liking this yarn so far. It's pretty great. And then the last thing that I got was this. Oh, it came a little bit undone. This is from Hot Knit Yarn. And it is so bright. So great. I feel like it's so bright that my iPad like can't even handle it. And again, I haven't decided what I'm going to make with this yet. I'm kind of leaning towards a hat, maybe. It's what is it? It's sport weight. So, but it is kind of a fine sport weight. But still, I think it might make a cute hat for one of my girls. Especially since we live in North Carolina. It's not that crazy cold here. We'll see. It might make some fun wrist warmers, or I don't know. There's a lot of different things that I think I can make with this. So I'll keep you posted when I decide what that is. But I just love this. Just neons have my heart all the way. But yeah, my mom and I were a little disappointed by the selection actually at the Carolina Fiber Festival, because we both went there expecting to spend a bunch of money. And I mean, as you can see, I did buy several things, but I was really hoping to get I wanted some sock blockers, some wooden ones with a little sheep on them, and I did not see any of those. I saw some alpaca ones, which would have been cool, but I love sheep. Actually, Rachel means female sheep, and so I've been into sheep for a really long time, and it's been really fun for me. One of my favorite things about knitters is how much they love sheep, because there's so many sheep-themed products, and nowhere else could I get a sheep bag or, sheep earrings, or, I actually wouldn't wear sheep earrings, but, there's everything sheep in the knitting world, and I love it. Love it. So hopefully soon I will order some of those wooden sheep blockers online, because I am jonesing for those hardcore. So I wanted to share with you guys one thing that I've been obsessing over this week. Hopefully I'll do this, every podcast. This just share you a little something random that I'm interested in that week. This week, I, like many of you, have been really into, not just this week, but in the past month or so, I've been really into the Hamilton musical. If you haven't heard of it, it's a musical based on the life of Alexander Hamilton, and it's very historically accurate, which I love, and it's just and it's hip hop. So yeah, it's just really different, really fun. I'm not always a musical person, so if you haven't heard it, I strongly encourage you to check it out. If you don't like it, that's totally okay, but you should check it out. But part of my obsession, not really obsession, but obsession with Hamilton has led me to actually listen to the biography that it's based on. And in that biography, I learned that I actually have the same name as Alexander Hamilton's mother. My parents actually gave me the middle name of Hamilton. That is my grandmother's maiden name. And so my name, Rachel Hamilton, is also the same name as Alexander Hamilton's mother, which I just think is absolutely hilarious. So that is my obsession for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have enjoyed the time that you have spent with me. And if you would like to find me, you can follow me on Instagram at Purlsbeforeswine. And I can't remember what my Ravelry name is. I will have that for you next time. But I would love to get to know you, so please follow me. Give me a comment. Let me know how you enjoyed this podcast today. And I hope that you are having a great week. I hope you have a great weekend. And I will see you next time.